News at 5:30 starts now.
More cuts on the table for public transit in Vermont. Thank you for joining us at 5:30. I'm Darren Perrin. Green Mountain Transit proposed reducing more routes to close funding gaps. Don Amato reports this comes as GMT officials are also watching federal funding.
We are very much vulnerable to any changes to the way the federal government distributes its funds.
Green Mountain Transit preparing for the worst. Despite no indication they would lose funding, GMT says they need to be ready, with 60 to 70% of their budget coming from the government. But it's led public transit advocates to call for a renewed focus on funding.
Transit does work in Vermont and can work in Vermont, but it must work better.
Lawmakers and a group known as Transportation for Vermonters spoke about the importance of public transit at the State House Tuesday.
Public transit is housing, it's health care, it's economic opportunity, and its connection to community.
They want a bigger state investment after saying only about 6% of Vermont's $867 million transportation budget is spent on public transit.
When people don't have reliable access to transportation, it hinders their ability to get to the doctor, to get to work, to childcare, and to shop for food and other basic needs.
This comes as Green Mountain Transit is working to consolidate or eliminate more bus routes, especially in rural areas, and recently reinstituted mandatory bus fares.
So we see the return to fares as being successful both in not impacting ridership and generating the revenue that we need.
Previously, GMT's Let Them Ride policy allowed those who couldn't afford the bus to take it anyway. But with more anticipated budget issues, the 6 to 7% of riders who didn't pay are now back on the hook, which GMT says is good for the bottom line and morale on the bus.
We certainly heard from our drivers that the mood and the tenor on the bus would change when somebody would come on board and not pay.
Any proposed changes to bus routes won't happen until July 2026. Reporting in South Burlington, Don Amato, Channel 3 News.
Dom.